The champagne was already poured when I walked in. That should have been my first clue. My sister Maya stood at the head of our parents' dining table, one hand resting on Mom's shoulder, the other holding her phone like she was about to make an announcement to shareholders. She had that glow, the kind that comes from being told your whole life that you're destined for extraordinary things. "Oh, good, you're here," Mom said, glancing at her watch. "We were about to start without you." I set my bag down by the door. "Start what?" "Family meeting," Dad said. He didn't look up from his coffee. Maya smiled. The kind of smile that doesn't reach your eyes when you're trying to be patient with someone who just doesn't get it. "We have some really exciting news to share. About the family." I pulled out a chair. The wood scraped against the floor, too loud in the sudden quiet. "So," Maya began, her voice taking on that TED Talk cadence she'd perfected in business school. "As you all know, Mom and Dad have been talking about legacy, about what happens next, about who's ready to step up." I watched her. She was good at this. She'd always been good at this. And after a lot of thought, a lot of really meaningful conversations, she paused for effect. "They've decided to make me the family representative. For everything." Mom reached up and squeezed Maya's hand. "It just makes sense, honey. Maya's established. She has the corporate experience, the connections. The maturity," Dad added. That word hung in the air. Maturity. Like I was still the kid who couldn't be trusted to make decisions. "What does that mean exactly?" I asked. My voice came out quieter than I intended. "Family representative?" Maya's smile widened. "It means I'll be handling all the big decisions going forward. Medical directives for Mom and Dad. The family trust when the time comes. Speaking on behalf of everyone for legal matters. Basically, I'm the designated point person." "We need someone organized," Mom said. "Someone who understands these things." "Someone we can count on," Dad said. The words hit different when you realize they're about you not being that person. "I see." I picked up a napkin just to have something to do with my hands. "And when was everyone planning to ask me about this?" Maya's expression shifted to something resembling sympathy, the kind that management coaches teach you to deploy during difficult conversations. "This isn't about asking permission, it's about doing what's practical. You're so focused on your own path right now, your art thing. We didn't want to burden you." My art thing. 3 years of building my practice, 2 gallery showings, 4 commissioned pieces from private collectors, but sure, my art thing. "Plus," Maya continued, "you're always so scattered. Remember when you forgot Mom's birthday dinner last year? Or when you lost those documents Dad needed you to notarize?" "I was in Seattle for an installation," I said. "I flew back 2 days later." "Exactly," Maya said, like I'd just proven her point. "You're not really present." Mom nodded. "It's not criticism, sweetheart. It's just realistic. Maya's here. She's available. She has her life together." There it was. The thing they'd been dancing around for years. Maya had her life together. And I, apparently, did not. "We've already started the paperwork," Dad said. He slid a folder across the table. "We just need you to sign off. Standard acknowledgement. Shows you're aware and in agreement." I opened the folder. Legal documents. Dense paragraphs. My name mentioned twice, both times in clauses about waiving rights to contest decisions. "You'll want to read through it," Maya said. Her voice had that helpful HR tone, but it's straightforward, just formality. I looked at the signature lines. 3 places marked with those little sticky arrows. Sign here, initial here, date here. Something cold settled in my chest. Not anger. Something quieter. The kind of feeling you get when you finally understand something you've known all along but didn't want to admit. "No," I said. Maya blinked. "What?" "I'm not signing this." Dad's cup hit the saucer harder than necessary. "This is exactly what we're talking about. Always difficult. Always making things complicated." "I'm not making anything complicated." I closed the folder. "I'm just not signing documents. I haven't reviewed properly. That's actually the mature thing to do." "Oh, come on," Maya said. She was losing that polished composure now. "This is ridiculous. We're trying to take care of the family here. Why do you always have to make everything about you?" "I'm not making this about me," I said. "You're the one who just announced you're in charge of my medical decisions without asking if I had thoughts about that." Mom sighed. The long-suffering sigh I'd heard my entire life. "See, this is why we made this choice. You can't just be part of the team. You always have to question everything. Questioning things isn't rebellion, Mom. It's common sense. We don't have time for this, Dad said. Maya has to leave for the airport in an hour. Just sign the papers. I stood up. The chair scraped again. I'll have my lawyer look at them. The room went still. Your lawyer? Maya laughed. It wasn't a kind laugh. You have a lawyer now? Everyone should have a lawyer, I said. Jesus Christ. Dad rubbed his forehead. This is why nobody trusts you with important things. You're 32 years old, acting like a teenager. I picked up my bag. My hands weren't shaking. That surprised me. I thought they would be. Let me know when you're ready to have an actual conversation, I said. One where you don't hand me paperwork and expect me to sign without thinking. Don't walk out, Mom said. But her voice was weak. She already knew I was leaving. This is so typical, Maya called after me. Running away when things get real. This is exactly why nobody depends on you for anything. I stopped at the door. Turned back. They were all looking at me. Mom's disappointment, Dad's irritation, Maya's triumph barely concealed behind exasperation. I'm not running away, I said. I'm just not interested in signing away my rights because it's more convenient for everyone else. I left before anyone could respond. The drive home took 40 minutes. I didn't turn on music, just drove and thought about all the times I'd been told I was difficult, scattered, not quite meeting the standard that seemed to come so naturally to Maya. The thing is, I wasn't surprised. Not really. I'd felt it coming for years, the slow shift in how they talked about the future, the way conversations would halt when I entered rooms. Maya's increasing role as the family spokesperson at holidays, at gatherings, in those little decisions that add up to who gets taken seriously. What surprised me was how calm I felt. I pulled into my driveway and sat for a minute. My phone buzzed. 3 texts from Maya. You're being childish. Mom's upset. This affects all of us. Stop being selfish. I didn't respond. Instead, I went inside, made tea, and opened my laptop. I pulled up an email I'd received 6 months ago. Subject line, request for consultation, estate planning. I'd been the one to help Mom organize her files last spring when she was overwhelmed with paperwork. I'd been the one who sat with Dad when he was stressed about his retirement accounts, explaining options in plain English because the financial advisor only confused him more. I'd been the one who quietly handled things while Maya sent advice from 3 states away. And during those late nights of sorting through decades of documents, I'd found something interesting, a letter from my grandmother to my mother, dated 2 years before Grandma Rose died. The letter was about me. Sophie understands things, Grandma had written. Not in the loud way, in the quiet way. She pays attention. She'll know what to do when it matters. Trust her more than you think you need to. Mom had never mentioned that letter. I'd found it tucked in a folder marked Personal, R.I.P. Rose. I'd photographed it, saved it to my cloud, told myself I was just being sentimental. Now I forwarded it to my lawyer with a note. Can we talk this week? 3 days later, I sat in a conference room that smelled like lemon furniture polish and watched my lawyer, Patricia, read through the documents my family had wanted me to sign. You were right not to sign these, Patricia said. She took off her glasses. These are aggressive. You wouldn't just be acknowledging your sister's role. You'd be waiving any right to question her decisions, even if those decisions directly affect you. That's what I thought, I said. Your parents drew these up? Their lawyer did. Apparently. Patricia made a note. Sophie, I need to ask you something. When your grandmother passed away, what happened with her affairs? Mom and Aunt Diane handled everything. Why? Did you ever receive anything directly from your grandmother? Accounts, property, anything designated specifically to you? I thought about it. Not that I know of. Mom said Grandma left everything to her and my aunt to distribute as they saw fit. Patricia pulled out another folder. I did some research after you sent me that letter, called in a favor with someone who does estate work. Your grandmother filed a trust in 2019. Before she died, my stomach tightened. Okay. She named you as the primary beneficiary of her education fund. It was set up to mature when you turned 30. That was 2 years ago. The room felt smaller suddenly. How much? I asked. $85,000. It's been sitting in an account generating interest. Nobody told you about it. I couldn't breathe right. That's not possible. Mom would have said something. Patricia slid a paper across to me. Grandma Rose's signature at the bottom. My name typed clearly under primary beneficiary. The fund was designated for education, professional development, or business investment. Your grandmother specified it was meant to help you build something meaningful. Her words, actually. In the notes section, she wrote, "Sophie has the vision. She just needs someone to believe in it." I stared at the document. At my grandmother's signature. At my name. Why wouldn't Mom tell me? Patricia's expression was careful. Sometimes families make decisions about what they think is best. Sometimes they assume someone isn't ready. Sometimes they just forget. But Sophie, this money is legally yours. Has been for 2 years. I thought about Maya's announcement. About being called scattered and immature. About signing papers that would hand over any say in family decisions. "What do I do?" I asked. Patricia smiled. "Whatever you want. It's your money. Your grandmother made sure of that." I called a family meeting. My turn this time. Maya arrived late. She always did when it wasn't her event. Mom and Dad came together, both of them wearing matching expressions of weary patience. "I hope this is quick," Dad said. "We have dinner plans." "It won't take long," I said. We sat around the same dining table, different energy this time. "So," I started, "I'd practice this. I've been thinking about what you said last week, about maturity, about being responsible." Mom's face softened. "Honey, we're so glad you're being reasonable about this." "I brought the documents," Maya said. She pulled out the folder. "If you're ready to sign." "I'm not signing those," I said, "but I do want to share something with you." I placed 3 pieces of paper on the table. The trust document, the letter from Grandma, and a statement from the account showing $85,000 plus 2 years of accumulated interest. The silence was immediate and total. Dad picked up the trust document. His face went pale. "What is this?" Maya's voice was sharp. "Grandma Rose set up an education trust for me," I said. "It matured 2 years ago. I just found out about it last week." Mom's hand went to her mouth. We. "You forgot?" I asked. My voice was calm. Eerily calm. "Or you decided I wasn't ready for it?" "We were going to tell you," Mom said quickly. Too quickly. You were still figuring things out. We thought it was better to wait until you were more stable." "More stable," I repeated. "Like Maya?" "Don't bring me into this," Maya said, but her eyes were on the account statement. I watched her do the math, watched her realize what this meant. "Grandma left this specifically to Sophie," Dad said slowly. He was reading the notes section, "to help her build something meaningful." "She believed in me," I said, "even when nobody else did." "That's not fair," Mom said. "We believe in you. You asked me to sign away my voice in this family because you think I'm too scattered to handle responsibility. While sitting on money my grandmother left me specifically because she thought I could handle it." Maya's jaw was tight. "So what, you're gonna throw this in our faces? Make this about money?" "This isn't about money," I said. "It's about respect. It's about you deciding I'm not capable and then being surprised when I don't just go along with it." "We were protecting you," Mom said. "From what? My own inheritance?" Dad set down the papers. "What do you want, Sophie?" I looked at each of them. My father, who'd called me immature. My mother, who'd implied I couldn't be trusted. My sister, who'd tried to make me sign away my rights while acting like she was doing me a favor. "I want you to stop treating me like I'm not a full member of this family," I said. "I want conversations, not announcements. I want to be asked, not told." "That's it?" Maya said. "That's your big moment?" "That's it," I said. "I'm not interested in drama. I'm interested in being treated with basic respect." I stood up, picked up the documents. "I'm not signing your papers," I said. "If you want to make Maya the family representative, that's your choice. But I'm not waiving my rights to make you feel better about it. And I'm not pretending this conversation didn't show me exactly how you see me." "Sophie," Mom said, tears in her eyes now, "don't leave like this." "I'm not leaving," I said. "I'm just done pretending your assessment of me matters more than my grandmother's did." I walked to the door, turned back one more time. "Grandma saw something in me," I said. "Maybe you should ask yourselves why you couldn't." I left them sitting there. Didn't wait for the response. Didn't need to. The next morning, I met with Patricia again. We talked about what I wanted to do with the money. I had ideas, real ones, a studio space, materials, time to work without taking commercial projects that drained me. Your grandmother would be proud, Patricia said. Maybe. Maybe not. But I was proud. And right then, that felt like enough. My phone buzzed that afternoon. Maya, we need to talk. I didn't respond immediately. Made tea first, sat on my porch in the late sun, let the moment settle. Finally, I typed back, I'm available to talk when everyone's ready to listen. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Then, fair. I smiled, set down my phone, watched the light change through the trees. Somewhere, I like to think Grandma Rose was smiling too, not at the money, not at the documents, at the fact that I'd finally learned the most important lesson she'd been trying to teach me all along, that knowing your worth doesn't require anyone else's permission, that quiet confidence beats loud approval every time, and that sometimes the people who underestimate you give you the greatest gift of all, the freedom to prove them wrong without saying a single word.